Hello everybody, welcome once again to Filmsplaining. I'm your host Martyn Strange. I have just watched the Oscar nominations announcement for 2026, the 98th Academy Awards, and wow, there were some surprises. I think of the 20 or 21 categories that I had personally predicted, I only got like 6 or 7 at 100% accuracy. Some of these picks are just baffling to me, and I'll get into why. Initially, I was going to make a much longer video, mostly talking about Paul Thomas Anderson and how I believe it is his year, but I am about to catch a flight to Utah for the Sundance Film Festival, where I'll be covering the movies that I see there. So this is going to be kind of a shorter, quicker video, just my initial gut reactions to these nominations and my personal predictions as to who I think will win, as well as who I think should win. The way they announced these categories was very all over the place. That they weren't alphabetized or anything like that. So I had to really jump around quite a lot in my personal document here when I was checking my picks. So I am going alphabetically, and I'll start with Best Actor in a Leading Role. The nominees are Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. I think this is a very easy category to pick. I think the entire awards season has been clear, and that the best possible choice, both for the year in films and for the telecast, is very clearly Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. I made a whole Marty Supreme video and sung his praises there about the performance. I think it's an incredible performance. I think this is his time, and I cannot wait to see his acceptance speech. There's a very slight chance that Wagner Moura sneaks in here because he's been winning several precursor awards, but so has Timothée Chalamet. So I personally believe it's going to be Timothée Chalamet who wins this Oscar, and he is my personal pick to win. For Best Actress in a Leading Role, the nominees are Emma Stone for Begonia, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Kate Hudson is the real surprise here. Not many people have seen Song Sung Blue. I certainly didn't expect her to get in here. I think initially I had Jennifer Lawrence in this spot for Die My Love. Emma Stone is also a little bit of a surprise, although the Academy loves her. She's a 2-time winner. She doesn't have a chance at winning this year, but I think it's interesting that they put her in for Begonia. Amanda Seyfried just totally shut out of this race, in my opinion. Of course, I still haven't seen that movie because it's not playing yet, but I really thought she had a chance this year. I do believe that this award will go to Jessie Buckley, who has won all of the precursor awards. It is a powerful performance about a woman suffering, and the Academy loves powerful performances about women suffering, and Jessie Buckley really just owned that this year. The only potential sneak attack here could come from Rose Byrne, but I do think it's going to be Jessie Buckley, and she would personally also be my pick to win. For Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. Begonia snuck in here as well. This movie has a big presence at this year's Academy Awards. I did not really expect all of these nominations for it. I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of the last year. I talked about it in my top 25 of 2025 video. I do think this award is probably going to go to One Battle After Another. If I had to guess, the only real competition would probably be Hamnet. This is one of those awards that could potentially signal the way that the evening is going to go once we finally see this telecast in March. But my personal pick to win would be One Battle After Another, and I do think it should win. For Best Casting, the nominees are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and The Secret Agent. This is one of the few categories I picked with 100% accuracy, so I'm patting myself on the back for that. I think casting is probably going to go to Sinners. Sinners has a huge presence this year, and we know that it's probably not going to win any of the very top of the line awards because that is such a heated race. So I think this would be a good place to award it. The only other potential I see happening is probably Marty Supreme. I think Marty Supreme might be my personal pick, although I have such love for Sinners, particularly when we'll talk about in a moment one actor from the film, actually two actors from the film getting nominated, I think it's a very good chance that Sinners takes this award. And yeah, I do think it should win it. For Best Cinematography, the nominees are Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. This is another category that I picked completely correctly. This is kind of an interesting one. This could go any way. I think it could go to One Battle. I think it could go to Marty Supreme. It could even go to Sinners. Train Dreams has beautiful cinematography, but I don't know that it's, the top of the crop here. I do feel like Frankenstein is definitely the odd duck out. I did very much like the cinematography of that film. However, I believe this award is probably going to go to One Battle After Another, which is undoubtedly going to win many other awards. My personal pick, I'm going to go with Marty Supreme. The cinematography in that film really blew me away. But all of these picks are honestly great. I think One Battle is going to win, but my personal pick would be Marty Supreme. For Best Costume Design, the nominees are Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. I think this is another craft award that's going to go to Sinners. The costuming in that film is so perfect and accurate and really is a major part of the storytelling in that movie, just as it is in Frankenstein and Hamnet. Hamnet's the one that I could see this potentially going to. My personal pick would be Sinners, and I do think Sinners is going to win. For Best Director, the nominees are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. There's another one that I picked totally correctly. Yeah, this is going to go to the Best Picture winner. It is extremely rare that Best Director and Best Picture are split. It's only happened a handful of times in the history of the Academy Awards, but I do believe, without a doubt, 100% that this award will go to Paul Thomas Anderson, and he is my personal pick as well. For Best Documentary, the nominees are The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. I have not seen any of these documentaries. The docs are always ones that I usually catch up to later on because I'm just not really able to see them throughout the year. The only one I've even really am aware of is The Alabama Solution, which I added to my list in my HBO Max. So I really don't know what to do here. So I'm just going to go with a kind of a feeling, a gut feeling, and say that Come See Me in the Good Light, which is the only other film that I've actually heard of on this list, is going to win Best Documentary. Yeah, I think it should win as well. For Best International Feature, the nominees are It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Surat, The Secret Agent, and The Voice of Hind Rajab. I have never heard of the film The Voice of Hind Rajab. It's the Tunisian entry for the Academy Awards. I was expecting to see No Other Choice here, and I kind of hoped for No Other Choice here, but it was basically completely shut out in this year's race. I think this is most likely going to go to The Secret Agent just because of the power of that film has been building and the growing Brazilian contingent of voters and fans. The only other possibility I think here is It Was Just an Accident, which of course was the Palme d'Or winner at Cannes. I think it's going to go to The Secret Agent. My personal pick would be my beloved Sentimental Value, even though I know that's not going to happen, but that's how I'm voting. For Best Original Screenplay, the nominees are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I was really hoping for Sorry Baby in this category. I thought it had a chance since Ava Victor was nominated at the Golden Globes, but It Was Just an Accident snuck into that spot. I think this is most likely going to go to Sinners. This would be a good place to award Ryan Coogler since he most likely will not win directing. My personal pick also would probably be Sinners here. I really love Blue Moon. I really love Marty Supreme. I love Sentimental Value. But I think the screenplay for Sinners is quite extraordinary. Yeah, this would be a good place to award that film. For Best Makeup and Hairstyling, some surprises here. The nominees are Frankenstein, Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. When I saw The Ugly Stepsister on the short list for this, I almost put it down in my picks, but I had Wicked for Good in here, which was completely shut out. Wicked for Good just did not make any impression this year with the Academy voters. I have no idea what Kokuo is. I've never heard of that film. I don't know anyone who has heard of that film. But makeup and hairstyling, I believe this is probably going to go to Frankenstein. Frankenstein doesn't seem to like it's going to be picking up anything else along the way. So my personal pick would be Frankenstein, and I do think Frankenstein is going to win here. For Best Picture, the big one, the nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, The Secret Agent, and Train Dreams. The huge surprise here is F1. I cannot believe F1 got a Best Picture nomination. It got some below-the-line love for some technical categories, but sneaking into Best Picture is really stunning, especially over things like It Was Just an Accident or Surratt. Begonia is also a little bit of a surprise. It seemed like this was possibly going to happen over the last few weeks, month or so of awards postulating, but F1 is the major surprise. I mean, it was a huge hit, and it was a big win for Apple, obviously. Look, the only Best Picture possible here is, of course, One Battle After Another. This was initially the thesis behind this whole video for me. I think it's the best picture of the year. I think this is the year to award this kind of movie. It's the movie of the moment. It features just unbelievable craft and performances from top to bottom. The only other way this could go is Hamnet, and Hamnet has, been gaining some steam lately. It's a more classical Oscars pick. It's a more conventional pick. But as we've seen over the last several years, the Oscars are changing. They're growing more international, more diverse, younger. And One Battle After Another is the film that is still on everyone's minds at the end of this awards cycle. So I do believe this is Paul Thomas Anderson's time, and One Battle After Another is going to win Best Picture, and it is my personal pick for Best Picture as well. For Best Production Design, the nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. This is another one of the categories that I picked completely right. This is very interesting. I think Marty Supreme has a great case here. I think Sinners has an amazing case here. Frankenstein has great production design. This would be another place to award Sinners, and I can see Sinners walking away with a lot of technical categories here. But then again, it could be a sweep for One Battle After Another. My heart wants to say Marty Supreme just because the period accuracy of that film and the way that it looks is so indelible. But I think production design is probably going to go to Sinners, and my personal pick would be Sinners as well. For Best Score, the nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I had initially picked Marty Supreme in that Begonia spot, but Begonia has a really great presence here. A lot of people really liked that movie, clearly. I think score, once again, is going to go to Sinners. Ludwig Göransson's music is integral to that movie. I love Johnny Greenwood's score for One Battle After Another. I also love Jerskin Fredericks' score for Begonia. It's an amazing score. It's a long shot for that to win. So I do think this is going to go to Sinners, and that would be my personal pick as well. For Best Original Song, the nominees are, of course, Diane Warren for something called Diane Warren Relentless. I guess it's a documentary about her. K-Pop Demon Hunters, Sinners, Train Dreams, and something called Viva Verde, which I have never heard of before until this morning's announcement. My personal pick would be I Lied to You from Sinners, but I think this is without a doubt going to be K-Pop Demon Hunters for the song Golden. That movie was a phenomenon, and the song was a phenomenon, and this is the place to award it if there ever was one. For Best Sound, the nominees are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surratt. Surratt's the kind of surprising one here. I sort of expected something like Avatar or, I don't know, Avatar, I guess is what I was expecting. F1 is kind of a shoe-in here, although One Battle After Another has a great case for sound. I think if F1 is going to win anything, it probably should win sound. The sound of that movie is phenomenal. When I saw it in the theater, the sound just like completely envelops you and becomes a major part of the viewing experience. So my personal pick would be F1. And yeah, let's see. I think it's going to win here. It got a Best Picture nomination, so it's probably going to win something. For Best Supporting Actor, the nominees are Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. The major surprise here, of course, is Delroy Lindo. I think the Academy has realized their past mistakes and not nominating him for Da 5 Bloods and other films. I mean, he's a legendary actor. He's great in the movie. He's a very small part in that movie. So I think he's got a very, very long shot to win. Stellan Skarsgård, of course, won this award at the Golden Globes. I think he is my personal pick for who should win. Although Benicio del Toro has a great case here. His performance has become memeified and shared far and wide across the internet. This is really interesting. This could go any way, but ultimately, I think I'm going to say that Stellan Skarsgård is going to take this award. It's kind of a it's time moment for him, and I do think he should win as well. For Best Supporting Actress, the nominees are Amy Madigan for Weapons, Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another, and Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. Two surprises here for me. Elle Fanning, did not see that coming. I really like her in that movie. I have kind of been singing her praises for that performance for a while, but I just didn't really see it happening. Wunmi Mosaku is also kind of a surprise. I initially had Chase Infinity in one of these spots, and the other I had was, well, I can't remember now. But this is an interesting race. Tiana Taylor won at the Golden Globes. Amy Madigan has won some awards. This could go any way. I really don't know which way to go here. I think it's probably going to be Tiana Taylor, especially since One Battle is going to sweep some of these really big awards. I think she's probably got the best shot. Behind her, I would probably say Amy Madigan is the front runner, but I think Tiana Taylor is going to win this award, and she is also my personal pick to win this award. For Best Visual Effects, the nominees are Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, Sinners, and The Lost Bus. This is a crazy category. I mean, Jurassic World, a film that was universally panned, and The Lost Bus, a movie that is an Apple original that went straight to Apple that not a lot of people have seen. It played in Toronto when I was there. I did not see it. This is wild. I mean, I think Sinners could take this. I think actually F1 could potentially win here as well, but Avatar seems to be the clear leader. It is a visual effects heavy movie. It's basically comprised entirely of visual effects for the most part. So I think Avatar is going to win here, especially since it didn't get many nominations elsewhere. My personal pick would be Sinners, but I think that's a long shot. Best Animated Feature, the nominees are Arco, Elio, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, and Zootopia 2. I think I really don't know. Zootopia 2 made like $10 billion. It's I think it's the biggest movie of last year, or maybe the second biggest movie of last year. K-Pop Demon Hunters, however, it was such a phenomenon and really just kind of like changed everything as far as like animated feature landscape and the way those films are released. It being a Netflix movie that was then later released in theaters as a sing-along movie. There's just so much energy behind that movie. I think it's ultimately going to go to K-Pop Demon Hunters. I haven't seen any of these animated features, so I can't really give my personal pick. Let's say my personal pick is Zootopia 2, just because it clearly captured the minds and hearts of millions of kids everywhere. For Best Editing, the nominees are F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Once again, F1 just has a pretty big presence here, and I'm just kind of surprised by it. I really liked the movie. It was on my top 25 of last year, but I wouldn't think of it naturally first as a real editing movie. Although when you think about the races, of course, that's a major part of it. Marty Supreme has fantastic editing. Sinners has great editing. This is an all-win scenario, I think. But One Battle After Another is going to be the clear front runner in most of its categories. So I'm going to say One Battle After Another wins this award. My personal pick, I'm going to say Marty Supreme. Just stunning editing that really moves that film at such a pace, which is really impressive. So that's it. Those are the nominees in all the categories that I chose. I did not pick documentary shorts or animated shorts. I did not pick any of the short film categories because I've not seen any of them. Many of them are hard to see. They are usually playing theaters like a month before the Oscar nominations come out, so maybe I'll get a chance to get out and see them. A few other categories that I didn't pick. These are the big ones. These are the main ones to me and the ones that matter the most. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is the year for Paul Thomas Anderson and One Battle After Another. Just a seismic, important, vital film that is also a big blockbuster action movie. I think it ticks all of the boxes. Yeah, some surprises here. This is going to be a very interesting telecast. I'm actually kind of excited now seeing some of these things, some of these movies that I've never even heard of that are nominated here. So that means there could be some surprises, and maybe the night will not be as predictable as most of us feel or think, which is exciting. You know, you want to be surprised at least a little bit when watching the Oscars. But I have to go jump a plane to Sundance. So thank you for watching. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and check out my recent videos, the top 25 of 2025, my best of breakdown list, as well as my video review of Marty Supreme. That's it. Until next time, happy viewing.